Hello yarn friends, welcome into my channel. In today's video I'm going to be showing you how to make this fairly easy, beginner friendly I feel like, crochet headband. Now it is worked in a flat piece and at the end we will attach it to make it one conjoined piece so that we don't have any buttons or anything like that we have to fumble with. If you are new to my channel, please make sure to give this video a thumbs up, leave me a comment down below, hit that notification bell so that you get notified when I release new yarn related videos. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the material that we will be using. In today's video I'm actually going to be doing a different color than what we see here just because it will show up a little bit easier on camera as we go through the filming process. Now for materials, if you want to make the exact one that I made here, this is a Hobby Lobby anti-pilling yarn. It is a 4-weight and it is a green yarn. But for today's demonstration purposes, I'm actually going to go ahead and use this sparkly softy yarn. And as long as it's a 4-weight, you will be good to go. Now the hook size is an H 5mm hook. We want a pair of scissors and then a tapestry needle as well. Let's go ahead and jump into the video. Now to begin, we start with a slip knot and a chain of 17. So go ahead and do that. Now, if you want your headband to be smaller or bigger, increase or decrease by 2 stitches. Now, not into our first stitch right here, but into our second stitch, we are going to place a half double crochet, and then we will half double crochet all the way along this first row, when that'll leave us with a total of 16 half double crochets. So go ahead and work that and meet me back here. All right, now that we have our 16 half double crochets, we are going to chain up and turn. Now we're going to be working into the back loop only, which is going to be this spot right here. And we want to work across, starting in this first one next to us, we are going to work across 8 half double crochets. So here's 1, 2 into the back loop only, all the way across, 3, 4, and 8. Okay, so we should still have 8 more on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now at this point we're going to start doing our chains. So we want to chain 15. 1, 2, and when we come back, I'm just going to show you now, we are going to slip stitch right here. Okay, so chain 15. Okay, so I have my chain of 15. And now we want to slip stitch right here into the top of our last stitch, okay? So I like to go through these 2 little spots. This is the only time we're going to slip stitch one of these, okay? So just like that. So that has made our first loop. So now we should still have 8 spaces over here. So now into this next space, in the back loop only, we're going to place a half double crochet. So we had yarned over, now we're going to pull through all 3 loops. So do that the rest of the way until you have 8 half double crochets on this side. Now that we made it to the other side, we're going to chain 1 and turn. And now we're going to work half double crochets in the back loop only all the way back over. So we're going to have 8 half double crochets on this side, 8 half double crochets on this side, and then we'll have our chain of 15. So go ahead and do that until you get your chain to your chain of 15. Okay, now into our chain of 15, go ahead and count that you have 8 here. We're going to make single crochets into the loop. So we're going to make 15 single crochets through our loop until, and it'll just kind of bring us around to the other side, but make sure that you keep count. Now we are going to work the remainder 8 half double crochets on the other side. So directly into this space, into the back loop only, half double crochet all the way across. Continue to work that and then meet me back here. Now we're moving on to our repeat rows. So the next 2 rows are going to be our repeat rows. So I'm going to show you this once, and then if you get confused, you're going to want to rewind back to this space here. So we're going to chain up 1 and turn our work half double crochets into the back loop only, again for a total of 8, and then we will work the rest of this row. Now what we need to do is make another chain. So we're going to chain of 15, and then we're just going to directly half double crochet into the next space here. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay. So now that we have our chain of 15, we want to yarn over, and then going directly into the other side, again into the back loop only. So we just kind of skipped all of this here, and then we're going to place our half double crochet. So that counts as our first half double crochet on this side. So we have 7 more to do. So go ahead and do that, and then make sure you have 8 half double crochets and 8 half double crochets on either side. Moving on to row 2 of our repeat, we chain 1 and turn, and then working directly back into that stitch, again like normal, we will do 8 half double crochets until we get to our chain of 15, and then we are going to do 15 single crochets right into that space. So it's pretty much repeat at this time. So working our way across, again, make sure that you have 8 on either side. Sometimes it's easy to miss this last little stitch there. Okay, so here we are back to our chain, and now what we want to do is single crochet 15 times into that space. And then you'll do the same thing. You'll come to the side, work your half double crochets, chain 1, turn, work 8 half double crochets, do the chain of 15. But if that's confusing, just go ahead and rewind the video. Leave me a comment. I hope I explained that well enough. Now you're gonna work this pattern, the repeat rows, until you have a total of 21 or 22. I went to 22 of these loops, so I don't actually count these rows. I just count my loops when I'm done. So go ahead and work these repeat rows until it's the length that you want, and then meet me back here. I'm going to show you how to close this up, how to braid these, and make everything secured. All right, so if you go ahead and count these little guys, you should have 22 if you're following along with me. If you need to make this smaller or bigger, you can. I'll show you how to braid these up in just a minute. But moving on to our last row, before we close all this up and finish, we want to make sure that we chain up 1 and just do 1 row all the way across. We want to have a total of 16, because we did 8 and 8. So we want to have a total of 16 half double crochets. So I'm going to work this whole row along with you. So we're just going to do this, and make sure that you have finished and completed that chain space there. Okay, so as we make our way over, how many have we done? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now what we're going to do is we're going to skip over all of this, and we're going to work across this 8. Okay, so now we're going to work our half double crochets, starting right here. Okay, just like that. And we have this in the front with all of our other loops, and then just continue to work your half double crochets all the way down. Okay, so now don't cut off yet. Pull up your loop and now go up to the top where we started here. So how we're going to work this is we're going to take our top loop and we are going to put it over our second one. Okay, so we're putting this one in through here and this around here. So like this, but then we want to drop the top one Now we have our second loop. We're going to grab our next loop down and we're going to do the same thing. It's going to go in the middle and we're going to pull the bottom one through and pull it through. And so we are just going to continue to do that all the way down. I hope that made sense. Zoom out a little bit and I can go back and I'll show you again from the beginning. We are going to start at the top and then get our second loop. We're going to put the bottom loop through the one above and drop it. So we're holding on to the second one. And now grab the one below, drop it through, and then just continue to braid all the way down until you have one loop left. This is what it should look like once you have gone through and braided. And now we have the one loop left. We're going to pull that through. Okay, so this part we're actually going to sew onto our work. But now what we want to do is we want to work our last row of half double crochets so that we can attach our two ends. So chain up one, and we already worked our last row of half double crochets. So now we actually just need to attach. So what we're going to do is we are going to turn our work facing towards us and fold our two ends, okay? So that the wrong way is facing towards us. So now we're going to be working through both ends of our work to make this into one piece. So we are just going to slip stitch into the back loop only of the first side. And this side I just go through both because it's kind of hard not to. And then we are just going to slip stitch. And then into the back loop only. Into the other side, slip stitch. So you should have a total of 16 slip stitches. So we are basically just putting these two ends together. Okay, so continue to do that all the way across. And then I will meet you back here and then we will fasten up that last loop so that your loops don't come undone. This is what it should look like once you have slip stitched all the way across. Now you want to chain up one and trim your work. Leave enough of a tail for you to sew in. I like to make a knot or two. Okay, and then flip your work back the other way. So now we have like this little spot where we joined at. And we need to secure our last loop. As you see, it's just kind of free floating. And if we don't do anything about that, then all of this is gonna come undone. So what you want to do at this point is go ahead and cut yourself some yarn and then get yourself a tapestry needle. Now, starting from the back, I poke it through the center, right under where these would be joined at. Now you grab this little guy, however you want him to lay. See and then we're gonna go through the top stitch. And we're gonna pull that out. Leave, excuse me, enough of a tail on the back so that we can tie this in. And then we're gonna go back through. You can do this a couple times if you'd like. But we just want to make sure that it's secured down. If you want it to lay a little more, you can go through like a stitch on this side. And then back through the center. We just really want to make sure that it's nice and secured. I'm going to do one more on this side and then I'll come back out through the middle and then we'll tie it. And then we'll just sew this end in. Okay, so I'm going to do one more right through the center. And I'm going to turn my work inside out. Okay, so now we're secured. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie these two ends into a knot, probably tie it about 4 times. And then you just want to go through and then sew in your ends. But this is what it looks like once you attach it. You can't really tell where the seam is. You can a little bit if you wanted to put this higher into your stitch right here, you can, but I think it came out fabulous. So let me sew in the ends really fast. I'll show you guys the finished product. And this is what it looks like when it is all completed. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell so you get notified when I release new tutorials. And I will see you guys all next time for another crochet tutorial here on Dream9Design's Yarn Corner of YouTube.